Welcome to the Histories of Northamptonshire podcast series, and this episode number 37. Recorded on location, each episode tells the story of one of the many and varied objects which are the focus of the exhibition A History of Northamptonshire in 100 Objects. The exhibition runs at the Northampton Museum and Art Gallery between the 20th of September 2025 and February 2026. Selected by local individuals, heritage groups and the museum's own curators, each object tells a different story from the county's past. And so, to our guest for this episode.
My name is Jack Brown. I'm a Historic Environment Record Assistant at West Northamptonshire Council.
And Jack, what are we talking about in terms of objects for this particular podcast?
We're talking about two unfinished chess pieces, a king or queen's head and a bishop piece.
Chess is a game that has been played for thousands of years. So how old are these particular pieces?
Chess originally was first created in 6000 BC, or a former version of the game. These chess pieces were from 12th century, so medieval period.
So it was a popular game even in that era.
Mm-hmm.
How were these items found? What was the circumstance?
So these were found at the Angel Street excavations in 2014. These were found in the vicinity of a workshop, and they were found with other sort of cut-offs, leading us to presume that it is the first chess workshop in Britain.
Really? It's thought that was the first workshop for chess?
Yeah.
Do we have any idea why?
Due to Northampton's royal castle, we think that there must have been demand, and this workshop, we've kind of tied the story in that this workshop and that there being two unfinished chess pieces and loads of cut-offs, that there was a demand to supply the nobles and royalty with chess pieces.
So if you were playing chess, it said something about you as the player then, in society?
Yeah, I think it was to do with your status, and these nobles would like to test their strategies and sort of pretend they're at war, because that's what chess is sort of like.
Because, of course, you have kings, queens, you have knights. You also have pawns, which are the foot soldiers. Chess is a kind of metaphor for the monarchy? Is it that?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
This particular object, or this particular item within the exhibition, is more than one object, and these items are faulty. So, are they rubbish as far as the creator is concerned?
They're rubbish to the creator, but they're rich in information to us as archaeologists and historians who love the past.
Why are they faulty?
They're faulty because the two chess pieces have something wrong with them. So the bishop has two square heads on it. The whole thing is not symmetrical, and the one head is quite shorter than the other one.
So you couldn't hand these on to the nobility in that case?
No, they would strive for perfection. In some cases, I presume, as it is today, you want to show off your chess pieces. Chess
is a game that originated not in what we call the United Kingdom. It originated thousands of miles away, thousands of years ago, as you have previously said. A lot of chess pieces down the years have been made from ivory. That's not the case with these particular items. What are they made from?
These pieces are made from antler.
So we're talking about deer?
Yeah.
Do we have any idea where the deer came from? Are these locally sourced raw materials being turned into chess pieces?
Yeah, these are locally sourced materials.
Jack, what does it say about society that hundreds and hundreds of years ago, the nobility were playing chess? It's known as the game for everybody, but back in the 1100s, was it only the nobility that was playing it?
I think it was only nobility playing it and high status people. Yeah, they were showing off their strategy and obviously interested by the game of chess and how two minds play on one chessboard and who can get the better of the other one.
So it is the battle on the board game, perhaps mirroring the battle of monarchy against whichever warring state is trying to invade. Is it that parallel?
I think so.
These items were made to order. Presumably they were commissioned. You were talking about the workshop of somebody making these items. Would that have been their only trade, or would they have been a creator of other items as well? Was this the chess shop that you would find on the high street of the town?
I would presume that they would have a multi-trade skill or multi-skill trade, but because we're in close proximity to Northampton Castle, I believe that this would have been their main hustle, as to speak.
Tell me about the person that would have made something like this. They would have been a skilled craftsman. Would they have been a chess player as well?
I don't think they would have been a chess player. I think they just would have been a skilled craftsman.
And as far as this particular discovery is, the Angel Street works, which are now, of course, the home of West Northamptonshire Council, the archaeological dig that went on, what was actually found in this workshop? What do you learn about the person from their workshop?
We find the 2 discarded pieces, and we find a lot of discarded cut-offs of antler. There's a lot of chess piece making here, and the 2 discarded pieces, it shows the actual manufacture process in time. Usually we find chess pieces complete, nicely decorated and ready, or have been used or ready for use. This is like one of the few times we find a discarded piece with the king or queen's head having that ring and line motif on it, but it's been discarded because of that damage to the side of its head.
So in terms of the sophistication of the chess piece itself, if it had been perfect, if the piece of antler hadn't had faults in it, would it have been far more decorative than what we can see in the exhibition pieces?
Yeah, you'd see, so you currently see the discarded pieces right now. A completed piece would have, it would have been nicely polished. It would have had more ring and line decorations over it and more line incision decorative bits on it. It kind of looks freaky to me. I've looked at some examples, and there's the ring and line dots to me look like eyes. I think they are supposed to be eyes. And some chess pieces have several of these, which does that mean there's loads of eyes on this chess piece that are looking back at you? Weird looking to me, but
it may be just the craftsmanship of the individual creating the chess pieces. And of course, in the modern day, chess pieces have all kinds of forms to them. They're still known as the king and the bishop and the knight and so on and so forth, but their actual appearance can be very, very different. Would this have been a traditional looking chess piece? Can we see it today through the eyes of modern society? Can we see this as being a chess piece, even though it's flawed, even though it's a second quality and didn't go forward to the nobility?
If you're meaning, can we compare it to today's chess? They look slightly different to ours. Our modern day chess pieces are more of a reflection to how we see the monarchs and upgraded craftsmanship, I guess. Back then, the king or queen's head would have been placed on top of a larger antler placeholder for the body. For some, that would be hard to know that that's supposed to be the king or queen's chess piece. And the bishop chess piece was a plank of antler with 2 square rectangulars on it. This originates from the predecessors of chess, where it would have been elephants and infantry and cavalry. So we see in the medieval chess pieces that they're taking the game from India and across the continent, and they're twisting it so that it's not an elephant anymore. The tusks that would have been like horns on the chess piece, they've now like flattened them down to be like square attachments to the chess piece, so it resembles more of a bishop.
So this particular manufacturer of chess pieces has anglicised the pieces for use here and used exclusively at Northampton Castle, or would chess sets have gone out from here to other parts of the country?
That's a difficult one to say, but I imagine as it's a local market, it would have been mostly for Northampton Castle or any high status nobles. But because of the castle, we see a lot of like nobles coming and going, and therefore this chess maker or chess set maker could have supplied these travelling nobles, and they would have taken it back to wherever they came from.
Is there anything in history which says here in Northamptonshire there was a chess set maker? And I don't ask that in a frivolous kind of a way, because this is truly craftsmanship.
This is the first example of a chess maker workshop in Britain that we have in the record.
So the standard by which chess sets would have been judged was set here in Northamptonshire?
I couldn't say for sure. I'd like to say that for Northampton's sake, but I couldn't say for sure because we don't have the evidence of other workshops. We can't say that this was the first one in medieval England.
Go on, we can, can't we? Jack, we have 2 items that have been thrown out because they're not good enough to pass on to the nobility. Why are they good enough to be in the exhibition? Why should they be part of the Histories of Northamptonshire exhibition?
I think because it's a great achievement for Northampton to be home of the first recorded chess workshop in Britain. It's very rare that you find discarded chess pieces, and I think it's great that we have the manufacturing process in real time been found in the archaeological records.
Jack, it's a fascinating insight into how perhaps the nobles played a game which everybody, right across the globe seemingly, now plays. I had no idea that Northamptonshire played the role that it seems to have in the production of the game for the nobles at Northampton Castle and other places besides. Thanks for telling me about it today.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this Histories of Northamptonshire podcast. If you would like to find out more about the objects or listen to other episodes in the series, go to www.northamptonmuseums.com. Alternatively, you can visit the Northampton Museum and Art Gallery, where you can see the A History of Northamptonshire in 100 Objects exhibition for yourself. The Histories of Northamptonshire project is funded by Arts Council England as part of the National Portfolio Programme.